Hey now, my name is Nick from Board Game Brawl, and this is your Kickstarter update. And let's start off this week by talking about Queen Games. They're one of the most established board game publishers out there, and with the advent of Kickstarter, they have used it to great financial success, even though their reputation seems to be taking a huge hit because of it. They actually have two projects up on Kickstarter right now. One of them is called the London Markets. The other one is an expansion for Kingdom Builder called the Marshlands, and that is the sticky wicket for Queen right now. Designer Donald X. Vaccarino issued a statement on the BGG forum saying that the only reason that Queen is publishing the expansion right now is because they have a contracted deadline to have it published by June 30th, or else Vaccarino is not going to give them permission to do so. On top of that, he claims that he hasn't even been paid for the project, which is a bit of a problem. Now, after he issued that statement, Queen backpedaled and said, whoa, we're definitely going to pay you, don't worry about it. And Donald issued a statement saying that was the case, but still seems to be hesitant as to whether or not the game is even going to be published. At the same time, the designers of another one of Queen's games, Tortuga, Sen-Fung Lim and Jay Cormier, issued a statement on Reddit saying, hey, we haven't been paid by Queen in quite a long time as well, and they seem to be notorious for this. Now look, I know when things like this happen in a public forum, it can get very ugly, things can get exaggerated and overblown, but really, when you add these stories together with the bad stories that have been coming out regarding Queen's customer support and how they respond to their customers, I think that where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's definitely something very odd and really not healthy for the company happening over at Queen, and I hope that they get it under control soon. Another year, another zombie side from Cool Mini or Not. This one is called Black Plague, and this is a standalone game that cannot be mixed with the others, and it has a totally different setting, if not theme. This one has people taking control of fantasy characters like rogues and wizards and fighters, and you're fighting back against a zombie horde, which is now led by things like necromancers and zombie werewolves. I gotta tell you, I was starting to get fatigued by Zombicide and its constant array of expansions always coming out, but I am really enticed by this one. I love the fantasy theme. I love the little tweaks they're making to the characters, like with the dashboards and with the special abilities and equipment. I love the guest artists and designers they have coming in for the characters, like my favorite artist, Nayade, supplying a couple characters. I'm really tempted by this one. Randover Games is bringing you Cast and Capture. This is a very quick, light, family weight card game. You and the other players are sort of like wizards who are trying to capture different magical creatures out in the wild by mixing together spells and possibly mixing together creatures as well. Speaking of fantasy settings, Foe Hunters from Spellforge Games is a cooperative fantasy deck building game. You and the other players take control of fantasy characters who are trying to beat back an arch enemy and his array of minions and special abilities. You go to town, you buy items, you get special abilities, and you just try to survive the day and win out. The Scoundrel Society from Action Phase Games is a simultaneous action selection competitive game. You and the other players are thieves of part of the secret society who are trying to fleece these different marks like a sultan or a widow. You're doing this by simultaneously playing cards that have things like steal loot or stash loot and trying to get as much loot as you can, but also trying to get as much suspicion off of you as you can, lest you get arrested by the constable at the end of the game. My name is Nick from Board Game Brawl. You can check me out at youtube.com/Board Game Brawl. This has been your Kickstarter update. I'll be at Dice Tower Con all week, so if you're there, please come and say hello to me. And my final thought for today, publishers, please pay your designers.